Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson. And in today's video, it's going to be draft-centric video. We're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. We're recently in an NFL mock draft. Reported that we traded up 9 spots, the third overall pick being the Arizona Cardinals, and us selecting David Bailey. I will discuss whether or not should the Dallas Cowboys trade up in the draft, and is that a smart move in this fantasy world, which was through the mock draft. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. So hopping straight into it, it was a mock draft done by CBS. I want to say that it was reported that the Dallas Cowboys in this mock draft were going to move up 9 spots. Hypothetically, in this fake world, they were going to move up 9 spots and select David Bailey. Should the Dallas Cowboys do it? No. And the reason why they shouldn't do it is because if people were scared, and people are scared to potentially give up multiple draft capital to the Vegas Raiders to go get a proven guy, what makes people think who disagree with my take, what makes you think I'm going to go out of my way to trade multiple picks for a player who's probably around my age to come and save this team that has had issues for 30 plus years? I'm just not in that camp. I'm not in that boat. I'm not going to, move everything for a player. Now, some players I am willing to trade up for within reason are 4 players. I don't mind trading for a guy like David Bailey. I just wouldn't do it at 3. Will I do it at 6 with the Browns, or at 8 with the Aints, or the pick after that, number 9 with KC? I would most definitely trade up to go get a David Bailey out of Texas Tech, Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, and Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, Ruben Bain out of Miami. Those are the only 4 players that I don't mind trading up for in this draft class. And then to add the other 2 gentlemen to that would be, there's only 6 defenders I'm looking for at 12. That's going to be Mansour Delane, cornerback at LSU, and I'm looking for a linebacker, Sonny Styles. Those are the only 6 players that I'm looking for that I would trade for, or trade up for, to go get one of those guys and for their services, for them to come here and potentially make make an impact to our defense. But for me, I'm just not in that state of mind right now, because I don't believe that the Dallas Cowboys are a twitched up, damn good edge away from our defense from being 40th worst of all time to making it at least 20 or top 15. I don't think we're there. I think you need a dynamic edge rusher. I think you need a damn good linebacker that can see what's going on in front of him and that can keep up with these complex offenses like who we have already within the division. But then you gotta look at the conferences in which we play. You play the AFC South. You're gonna play Liam Cohen and the Jaguars. You're gonna play Shane Steichen, a familiar coordinator in which you're familiar with from his time in Philadelphia. You're gonna play the Colts. You're gonna play I already said the Jags. You're gonna play Houston, and then you're gonna play the Titans. You're gonna play against Brian Daboll. He's with Tennessee right now. And then you look at what the NFC West, you're gonna have the Seattle Seahawks. You're gonna have the whack ass Santa Clara Niners. You're gonna have to play the Rams. You're gonna play the Cardinals, who got a LaFleur cousin, brother, uncle, whoever the hell. They got LaFleur as their head coach. So I need a linebacker that can figure out those offenses, that can keep up with some of those players, and can know what can get a beat on what those players and what those coaches are going to be doing. So, if it's up to me, you stick and pick at 12 and 20. You take the best 2 defensive players that you possibly can. At 12, I'm going to stay consistent. The night of the draft, which I'm going to host the draft show for the first 2 nights. Day 3 is going to be a little skeptical, but we'll probably do a stream for the for at least the 4th round. But any picks after that, we might just do TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and I'll just post videos up here. But I'm going to stay consistent all the way throughout the entire process leading up to the draft and during the draft. I want the best defensive players at 12 and 20. But if at 12, if the 6 best defenders are not there on your board, give me, a wide receiver. Give me, possibly Jamal McCoy if he's available. But if Jeremiah Love, Jordan Tyson, Cardinal Tate, are available to you, Francis Mount, no, if he's possibly available to you, then I would take one of those offensive players. But I'm not going to take Colton Hood over Jeremiah Love. I'm just not going to do it. I don't give a damn how much defense we need. You know, I'm not going to take Dylan Thieneman over Jordan Tyson on my board. I just wouldn't. I would definitely take Dylan Thieneman at 15 or 16 if in a possible trade back scenario. But if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'll stick at pick 12 and 20. And then also, if you look at this team, everyone likes to give us this moniker, mainly draft experts. They always love to say that the Dallas Cowboys, they draft really well, and we're a team that isn't. Not as of these past 5 or 6 years, because if you really think about and compartmentalize some of these past drafts we've been having, especially from 2021 all the way up until now, we've been drafting a boatload of defensive players, and they're not on the team no more, or they just didn't pan out. The Dallas Cowboys have a trouble and an issue drafting defensive players. If we have a similar issue going into this year, where we look at it, if we are here next year in 2027, at the same time talking about we still need to fix the defense side of the football, we need to allocate all our resources, or even more resources, defensive side of the football to make it better, we have a lot of bigger issues on our hand, and we need to pay attention and look more closely. Everyone already is doing it with Will McClay and the scouts, but if we have another F up of a draft and the defensive players, we're gonna have to do some real soul searching, and we're trying to stop the inevitable, and we're trying to finally speed up this clock and trying to be contenders. You will definitely either have to think about blowing it up or making something shake in order for this defense to get a lot better if you can't nail the draft coming up in a few weeks. So again, to keep it simple, I would not trade up for David Bailey to number 3. I would trade for David Bailey out of Texas Tech if he makes it to pick 6, which is the Browns, pick 8, which is New Orleans, pick 9, which is Kansas City. Those are the only 3 spots in which I can see the Dallas Cowboys trading up to go get. Are they going to trade up with Miami, who's a pick ahead of them? I don't think you can trade up with them. You're not going to trade with the Bengals, because the Bengals are the Cowboys of the AFC. You're not going to trade with Washington because that is a division opponent. And then also, they're more than likely going to keep their options open. They're going to want either Jeremiah Love or one of those Cardinal Tate, or they're going to want Downs, Bain. They're going to want one of those guys. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, what I would do, stick and pick, or if there's a player on the board that you don't necessarily want, if you don't want Francis Mount and somebody, if the Ravens want him, if one of these, if the Steelers want him, if Tampa wants him, if whoever, the Carolina Panthers, if they desperately want a player and they're picking at 19 and they're willing to give you day 2 capital to make it happen, move back 7 spots, take Dylan Thieneman, get CJ Allen, or whatever get Cassius Howell, Akeem Mesidor, go get Cassius Howell, or CJ Allen, Akeem Mesidor, CJ Allen, whatever the case might be, however the mix-up you want to have it. Have back-to-back picks in the first round, pick up extra day 2 capital, and just draft your ass off from then on out. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.